Okay, everyone, I cannot stand fire alarms, aka fire drills. I know they are for safety, but it is so loud. Like, turn that down. What if people are sleeping and they have to hear that? I am serious. No one wants to hear that unless there is a real fire. Today, the alarm went off out of nowhere. I was finishing my math class and then the fire alarm went off in my school for yet another fire drill. I cannot stand fire alarms. I cannot stand how loud they are. Yes, I understand that fire alarms need to be loud so we can get out of the building safely if there were ever a real fire. I totally get that. But not to the point where it will blow out our eardrums and scare students that have sensitive hearing when the alarm goes off. The fire alarm really scared me when it went off. It is so loud. Back when I was younger, I was terrified of fire alarms. During my elementary school years, I was so terrified of the fire alarm going off. So I was taken outside of the building before a lot of the fire drills during my elementary school years, so the alarm wouldn't scare me, because back then I had more sensitive hearing. So I was terrified of the fire alarm going off in elementary school. Especially since I went to a elementary school with an older alarm system that had a constant tone instead of a temporal cycle. Back when I first started preschool back in 2007, I was terrified of fire alarms back then when I was really little. And my high school has the same alarm as my first preschool did. So there was no escaping the Edwards EST integrity horn strobes ever since I started going to public school, because they are all over my area. They have invaded every single school I went to. That alarm. Edwards EST is a big fire alarm manufacturer in the Baltimore, Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. And they are so darn loud. And worst of all, today, the fire alarm went off right when I was about to go to lunch. Are you kidding me? Thankfully, I was not eating lunch when the alarm went off. One time earlier this year, back in November, there was a fire drill. I was still in the cafeteria when the alarm went off. I believe this was a Tuesday. It was November 9th, 2021. I was still in the cafeteria, and then the fire alarm went off for a fire drill. Now, I am more used to fire alarms right now compared to back when I was really young, but I still don't like them because of the sound and flashing strobe light. In fact, I have a fire alarm right here. I like having my own fire alarms that I can make it to the point where it is not so loud. That is why I like having my own alarm, is so I can mess with it without me getting into trouble. But if it's a fire alarm in a public building and I mess with it, I would be locked up in jail because I know it's against the law to mess with public safety equipment. And that includes the school fire alarm. I am smart. I am not stupid. I know better not to tamper with the school fire alarm. I know better not to tamper with the fire alarms at school or in any public building. I know that I shouldn't mess with fire alarms that are outside of my own house. I know that if it's not my alarm, I don't mess with it. I know that. The reason why I am messing with this alarm is because it is my alarm. But if it's not my alarm, I won't mess with it. Especially if I'm messing with an alarm in a public building. Get in big trouble if you tamper with fire alarms in public buildings. You could go to jail for doing that. So I am serious. Never ever tamper with fire alarms in public buildings. Only do it with your own. Even if you are going to someone else's house and you are tampering with their fire alarms, that is not good either. But it's worse if you are doing it in a public building. But if it's not your alarm, don't tamper with it. Bye.